Yo, what's up everybody? Honey here, bringing you Fairytail final season anime review. This is episode 316 titled Gray's Trump Card. This was a very exciting episode of Fairytail. Hands down, probably one of the most, I wouldn't say action-packed, but a lot of the things that did drop in this episode were really great, and a lot of great setup was done. It continued with the dissolvement of Irene's spell, War 1, and everybody's happy because they're back at Mongolian City, where, Fairytail Guild is located, and they're happy, but the guards as well, the enemy guards are still there, so they still scrapping with them, and you have the first master, Mavis, in the back, with Luxus as her bodyguard holding the body of Makaraj, who's petrified stone, which is supposed to symbolize that he's dead. And she's like, everyone be aware, use your surroundings, and still, fight, because the enemy is still here. And everyone is going to different places and stuff, the spell. And Natsu and Lucy, after they get dressed and they leave her house, they bump into actually Polymorphia, I believe her name is, the human version of Grandina, her and Evergreen. And Evergreen, she has a juvie on her back, and she states to Natsu and his group that Gray got up and left before the spell disappeared, and we don't know where he went. And Natsu was like, yeah, I know where he went. And they also said bye to Brandish earlier, because Brandish was there, but Brandish just wanted to say bye and said she's not going to compete no more in this war, and she's out. And it's funny because she actually has the warrior princess in her hand. I always forget her name. Medina, I believe it is, the time goddess. But she basically has her, and Natsu was like looking at her, like examining her because what he did to her. And she's getting freaked out, saying, stay away, stay away. And Natsu's trying to apologize and says, I only did what I did because I thought Lucy actually died. I'm sorry. And that made Lucy smile, but Randy was still scared of her, of him, so she was just freaking out. But Brenda's left and was like, see y'all. And Lucy was like, I see you again in the future, right? And she replied, what annoying. But then after she replied that and she continued to walk, she was like, you're not going to have no future because you're upset the commander in August. And where they're talking about where Gray might be and stuff, the whole town of Mongolian starts to shake. And we see on top of their church, the cathedral, that August is there just standing tall, and he's like saying this speech saying, cast your flesh and your spirits upon our master zeref, your children. And he's increasing his magic so strong that the whole continent is shaking. And it was stated by Luxus and First Master that with his magic power he can actually destroy the whole continent with ease. Luckily that didn't get to happen because our best boy came down, and Gildartz just came down with a punch, and he actually broke the church. August was able to block, but he still got sent flying, and you just see August flying and Gildartz running after him. Then we switch over and we have Gray, and he actually confronts the zeref and the Fairytail Guild, and he's like, yo, this is our guild, our home, and why are you sitting on my seat? Which is funny. That's like the first thing he complains about, is like, yo, you're on my seat, that's my spot. And the zeref states, out of all the people I was expecting, the main people I was expecting was either Jalal, or Luxus, because those are like the two powerhouses that, besides Gildartz, he's expecting that can actually fight against him from his, perspective. But instead he got Gray, and he was like, I'm disappointed it is you, and you're in a weakened state at that. And Gray got kind of offensive about that, of course, and he was like, they start talking and stuff, and they basically trash talking and stuff, and we get to switch back over to Natsu telling everybody, I know where Gray's going, let's go there, but he's saying it with like a worried face. Then from there we get the best part of the episode, which is, it goes back and forth between Gray's situation and this situation, but the situation I'm talking about is Gildartz versus August. Now this is actually my favorite fight throughout all the fights of this war, is this one. This is like the only fight that it made sense, basically how it began, how it started, how it ended. Everything about this fight made sense. this is like the best fight in Fairytail. There's gonna be more fights after this, but depending on what side of the fence you're on when watching Fairytail, you might most likely hate it or you might like it. It really depends, but I don't want to give too much spoilers on future fights, which is not much left because we're only supposed to have 52 episodes for this final season, and I believe episode 316 is the 39th for the final. So we got what, 13 more episodes, 12, somewhere around there, until we're done. Is there gonna be any OVAs? I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look that up. But yeah, Fairytail is about to be done in another dozen episodes, sadly. But we have Gildartz, fighting August, and whenever Gildartz does something, we see August counter with a different spell. And it was this one time where Gildartz actually hit him with his spell and it turns into blocks, like what he did with Natsu. Only thing is that August was able to say, oh, interesting magic, and he was actually able to recreate his body from the blocks and come back. And Gildartz was like, what? How can you do this? And he's putting up a really tough fight against Gildartz. Now, I know a lot of people don't know what his magic is at this point, but if you've seen a lot of Fairytail fights or a lot of fights period, you can kind of guess what his magic is at this point. Again, I don't want to spoil it. It's actually very simple and simplistic what his magic is, but I'm not going to say it for those who are not manga readers or cannot guess it themselves. But Kana steps in, and now it's going to be Gildartz and Kana versus August. And August, when he finds out that Kana is the daughter of Gildartz, he kind of have like this evil smirk, and it looked like he gets jealous, and he gets like more demonized, and his aura becomes like dark purple, and his eyes starts to glow, and his hair starts to like wave around. Then we switch over to the final couple of scenes of the episode, which is Gray and zeref, and zeref is basically telling Gray the story of why he wants Maris, why he wants the one magic, and how powerful it is and what he can do with it. And he wants to destroy the active Loki with it. And Gray was like, nah, I don't believe you, you're lying, blah blah blah, stuff like that. And he's like, why would I lie? He's like, it's funny that we talk about this because Natsu should be here soon. Sadly, when he gets here, he's going to be super enraged when he sees his best friend, his dead body. And like, Gray heard that. He was like, what? And he's like, I'm immortal. You said it yourself. There's no way you can beat me. He was like, you're right, I can't beat you or kill you, but there's another way to defeat an opponent besides killing them or beating them down. And that's when he uses his trump card, which is the title of the episode, Gray's trump card. He's planning on using Ice Shield. Now, it's been a while since we heard Ice Shield, so y'all probably forgot what that is, so I'm going to remind y'all. Ice Shield is basically Gray's ultimate spell. What it does is that the user of the spell, their body breaks down to liquid, and it surrounds the enemy and becomes ice. And as it entraps you in that ice, your opponent in that ice made from your body, you basically sapping their strength, their blood, their magic, everything about them is just being sapped constantly. Technically, this is the best spell to put down any type of immortal character. Sadly, after the user used it, they die themselves, because they become that living ice that entraps them. So that's Gray's trump card. Now, it wasn't said here in this episode, it'll probably be said in the next episode, but I know in the manga when Gray used it, zeref kind of laughed because he was like, wow, you had this spell that can actually stop immortals or kill immortals. I forgot which translation he used. I believe it was kill immortals, so don't quote me though. I could be wrong, but Gray actually does have the most powerful spell in Fairytail that can kill immortal characters like Actilogia, Elaine, zeref, Mavis. He can actually kill those type of immortal characters. It just, the problem is he can only use this spell once in a one person. So yeah, it's OP spell, but at the cost of it, it's like so we're gonna have to see how that plays out. I'm actually kind of disappointed that Gray resorted to that. You would think after all these years he'll learn his lesson and be like, yo, I have to find another way to beat you. But at the same time, it kind of makes sense that Gray has that sacrificing type of deal like Sasuke from Naruto, that he is gonna take any chance he can to beat you, even if he's sacrificing himself. And realistically, in a situation where There's immortal characters going around killing people or can kill people, and you have the ultimate spell to stop them. It does make sense that you would want to use it to stop them, so I can't fault Gray for that. But let's be honest, nobody in Fairytail as a good guy actually dies, so we know Natsu's gonna somehow interrupt this, and the spell won't go through. Not giving y'all a spoiler, but come on, it's kind of a given in Fairytail. But that was the end of the episode. Again, it was a great episode. I'm surprised myself that Gray's gonna be the one to throw down hands with zeref first out of everybody, but he's badly hurt, so it probably won't last long. And we know Natsu and the gang is rushing here, so that's going to be interesting seeing Natsu versus zeref Part 2. And we also have Gildartz versus August with Kanna's help, so that's pretty awesome. These are like two of the best last fights. Not last fights, but they're two of the best fights in my opinion. There's a couple of controversial around them that I might have to break down, but when we get there, I explain it. But that's all I have for you guys. Tell me down below what you like and didn't like about the episode and how you felt about it. Do you think that Great Ice Shield is gonna be relevant later on or in this episode? And who do you think is gonna win with the Gildartz and Kanna versus August? And what are you expecting of these two fights that's about to come up? And also, we got a new ending and opening. I almost forgot to mention that. They are extremely beautiful. They're not hard rocking openings like 16 to 23 was, and I know a lot of people are upset about that. They're more low-key, soft-spoken pop type music, but they're really good. The new opening is called More Than Life by Bush. They actually did one of the Black Clover openings. I'm not sure if it was Painted Black, which is opening 2, or opening... Yeah, it was opening 2 actually. Yeah, Painted Black. That's the one that they did. And the new ending is called Miyu. It's called Exceed. That's the new ending, and that's by Miyu. Really two great slow down songs. Again, a lot of the new songs for Fairytail have been more on the slow key side than the heavy rock side, which is a lot of the music that people are used to in Fairytail. So I know people have been complaining about that, but once in a while you're gonna need that slow down type of pop music. So slash soft song, especially when you're in a dangerous war arc like this, it just makes the mood more mellow. So it kind of makes sense. But again, tell me your thoughts and opinions about the episode and the new opening and ending.